everyone, and welcome back to another episode here on my Minecraft single player survival world. In between episodes, I made this custom oak tree with this flower patch underneath it with these custom walls, and this is what I'm planning to do for this episode. In that area, we're gonna have a huge section with custom walls, custom farms, not only flower patch farms like this, but with like maybe some wheat farms, some carrot farms, and we might put in a few houses. I'm gonna put loads of these custom oak trees and custom spruce trees, like the ones that we have over here and the one over here. And actually, I love making this oak tree. It's not bad for a first time for a custom oak tree. I used some oak leaves, oak wood, jungle leaves, and birch leaves to kind of make the texture different, and I really enjoyed making it. As I was saying a couple episodes ago, in this area, we're going to have a huge custom farmland over here. And we're going to do some terraforming to make this place more neat and tidy. And we're going to, do some custom details around here. But we're going to have a huge custom farmland with many farms, some wheat farms, some beetroot farms, some carrot farms, as well as some flower-based farms. Like we had that flower patch over there, our custom oak tree. You can see we had some dandelions and azure blue rays. So we're gonna have maybe some blue orchids, peonies, rose bushes, farms over in this area as well. And we're gonna have plenty of those custom trees as I was talking about with custom boulders and custom walls and a nice path and river running through this farmland. Of course, we need to prep up this area and do the basic terraforming before we do any of that. So how about let's get straight into a time lapse and do all of that basic terraforming right about now. With most of the terraforming done, we just got a little bit over here which is still incomplete, but you can see I've kind of laid out the design that we're gonna have over here. Basically, with my planning, what I'm doing is I'm making a little kind of a border of each lot Y level on which the dirt is going to be placed. So from here backwards, the dirt is going to be at this level. And oh well, it's obviously not going to be this way because I can tell the hill is going up this way. However, I make small, sometimes modifications. Over here, as you can see, it starts to go up a little bit. And from here, I'll know I'll start to do a clip or a very steep just wall over here, but I'm most likely going to be doing a clip. We might not do that in this episode here, and I might do that off camera, or I might do that in a future episode, but I don't think we should get into the cliff building right now, and we should do all the cliffs in a single episode because I'm planning to make a cliff over there as well. Anyway, before I get sidetracked, I've got some white terracotta over here so we can plan out the roadways over here going in between the farms and where the farms are actually going to be placed. And we can also decide where to place a couple of our houses. But before we do that, we gotta sleep. Now that it's daytime, we've got our white terracotta in hand, and let's start planning out these roads. I think we should have a road coming from this area over here, and it's going to continue up this hill over here, and we should have a farms on either side of this road. So I'm going to continue it up just straight like this, and I'll do this on camera with you guys so that you can see the process in which I start doing my planning in. And then we'll just do the straight main path up here, and then we can start making branches coming off it. And we don't want to make it completely straight, maybe we might want to make it turn a little bit. So I think we're going to make it start turning in this area over here and then turn back up. And that's because over here, as I told you before, we're going to have a cliff, and we won't have a lot of space over here when we make a farm. So I think we should break the path continue on that way because we have plenty of space over here which we can later terraform if we really need to. So if we just continue the path on like this, and we can start to wrap it around this area over here. Next thing we need to do is create the little branches of paths which come off. So first of all, before we do that, we need to kind of plan with where we're going to have our farms. So if we just take off into the skies, you can kind of get an aerial view of what our terraforming looks like right now. So if we just land on one of these trees, as you can see, we've got a path which continues up like that, and we've got plenty of space over here. So I think we're gonna have a farm over here, a farm there, and we're gonna have plenty of trees. And then we're gonna have, I think we should have a branch come off that way and continue up like that. And that would be kind of a nice, good path. I think we should also have a path continue over here and kind of maybe follow along this hillside over here, and you can have plenty of farms over there, and we'll have one more I think go over there, and we can maybe fit in a house on that hill or on that hill, and I think that's a good kind of path structure. I've laid out the other branches of paths. As you can see, we've got one going up this way, and I put a little arrow over here because I'm not fully finished with the terraforming in this section over here, which we might do in a later episode, or we might finish off this episode if we have plenty of time, but I'm pretty sure we won't because we need to get these farms done and we need to start doing these custom trees. Anyway, so we've got this little branch coming up here, and we've got this arrow pointing in that direction because this little path is going to continue up that way, and maybe perhaps connect with that branch over there, which comes off the main one over here, as you can see. And then we've got the main one wrapping around, and then we've got another branch just underneath that, which a farm can fit snugly into. Then underneath that, we've got this whole area here, which can be used for farms, and we've got a path coming down this way following almost the hillside, but then goes up a little bit, and we're gonna have maybe a river coming through here, and we can perhaps break a little bit of this mount, and we continue the river and do the same over here, and then just continue it and connect it to this river over here. Well, we've got plenty to do, and I don't think we should be wasting any more time, so I'm gonna be doing a little bit of work off camera just to experiment with some walls over here just to create some outlines of the farm walls over here, and we can perhaps maybe start hoeing the land and maybe start planting some crops. But I may just create the walls in which the farms may be, planted, or the actual the plants may be planted in, like the flowers and the wheat seeds. And I'll also maybe perhaps be creating a couple of custom trees. I may not create all of them. I'll probably only create maybe a handful, maybe 4 or 5, and then we can continue later on in the episode near the end with another time lapse to finish up a bit more of this terraforming and make some custom boulders and do some more custom trees, perhaps another handful or so, about 10 or 12 more after that. So, anyway, without a further ado, I'm gonna get cracking on some work. Well, everyone, I did plenty of work off camera. As you can see, we got some custom trees behind us, and we got an oak tree over there, and I'll run you through everything that I made. And I've also got a huge surprise that I also did. And I accidentally recorded this. I said this would be off camera, but I accidentally did a recording of a time lapse over here, so I might as well show it to you guys after this. So first things first, you can see we got a custom tree over here, which is kind of leaning over. It looks like it's kind of being broken. I think a few of these custom trees are actually not straight like this one. This one's also straight, but this one over here is leaning over, so it's got a nice effect to it. It's a straight lean, which is really cool. Also, I left some scaffolding over here, and we've got this wall running around here, which is going to be the first farm. Over here we've got a tree over there, which is also another leaning tree, but this one is leaning this way, well, like leaning like 45 degrees, not 45 actually degrees, it's about 60 degrees on, like in a vertical axis, and while it's also leaning that way, as you can see, it's kind of also going diagonal. So that's a really cool tree that I like. And we've got a couple more trees over here. As you can see, we've got a pair of trees over here where we're going to have a farm, of course, in the middle of the farm, so it'll be kind of cool to have a few trees bunched up with the crops over here. We've also got you got another wall over here. As I was saying, we got a farm here. We've got the lanterns, a few lanterns dotted around the place, just some I had on hand. We've got Minty sitting by our oak tree that we made. So basically, I made another version of the oak tree that we had over there earlier in the episode that I was talking about. This one just straight. I'm not really good with oak trees, so it took me a while to do this, and it doesn't look the best, but I'm content with it for the second ever oak tree that I made, custom oak tree. I'll put some flowers and leaves underneath it just to make it feel nicer, and the fences make it much more realistic, and I love how it makes it look much better. And I've been saving the best for last for this episode, and it's this huge tree. And it took me a while to build this. It took me about 40, maybe 50 minutes to build this thing, but it was worth it because personally, I love that tree. So if you just fly over to the village over here, just land on our bookstore, that tree, I personally, I quite like that tree. I think maybe we can refine a little bit. I think we should put a little bit of leaves down there, make this base part bigger, and then just make it look much more natural. But as of right now, I'm pretty content with it. And as you can see, this whole area is starting to shape up nicely. We've got plenty of trees. Like you see these cluster of trees, that's pretty nice. We've got a pair of trees there. And I like how these trees are kind of paired or usually paired together. So I'm going to have many of those pairs, or like 3 of them together, or maybe 4 of them together, and then we might have a couple of stray one alones together. Like we might have another just one tree up here, we might have 1 tree over there, but then we might have like 3 trees over here, 4 trees over there. And I was thinking about putting a house over there, so in the next episode we can work on that. But I think that's it for this episode, and I've actually got one thing that I still have planned that I need to show you guys. Actually, you know what? Let's roll that time lapse first before I show you what I've got in mind. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that time lapse, and as you can see by the oak tree, things are a little bit different. You can see that the leaves are bushier, flowers, one flower is a bunch of flowers, the birch leaves are yellow, and that's because we're using a resource pack. And about a couple episodes ago, I asked you guys if you guys would like to see a resource pack being used on my survival world. So I'm just running one for the end of this episode so that hopefully you guys can give me your opinion on this one because this is my favorite resource pack, which is Germ's resource pack. I think it's a little taste of gem it's called, and I really love it. You got the connected textures. Some blocks look different. Like this crafting table looks really cool, and there's certain blocks which look super cool. I think sticks. The sticks look really cool now, and it looks like an actual stick. So there's things that I love about this resource pack. So hopefully you guys will let me know if you like it too, and hopefully if everyone likes it, maybe you can switch to this for an episode or two. Or maybe at the end of the episode, we can go over our builds with this resource pack. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode here, making this farmland, and hopefully you can continue next episode because we've been running out of time over here, and hopefully you can finish this place off, and we can put the house over there right in front of me. You can finish off these crops and all things like that, and we can hopefully all do that in the next episode where we should hopefully have enough time because this episode is getting too long. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.